All right, let's look at some of the work that you guys turned in this week. There is literally so much work that it is so hard to go through and find all the great ones because seriously, there is a lot of good work. So I'm very happy with you guys and what you're submitting. I'm so happy that you guys are coming to class and I can see your faces. That is great. So I think we're off to a good start and I hope it keeps getting better. If there's something that you like that I do, maybe like Nearpod or Cami or anything like that, please let me know and that way you can message me, I can start doing it more often. Okay, I don't know how the lessons are going for you on your end, so I will only know that if you share that with me. So, very good. This week we only actually had two assignments. You had some notes to take, but you also only had two assignments. So the first assignment we're going to look at is primary and secondary sources. And the first one is from Fawn, and I love you can just glance at Fawn's and notice how much she wrote on her description. So that is great. So the first one is a book explaining the causes of the recession. She's saying this is secondary because it's based off research, not experience by person themselves. It's an example of a second-hand account, which tells you in 2008. Another reason I know this is secondary is because this is a book which was not created by a witness. So she puts her reasons and also tells me it is secondary, and I agree. The third one is a biography of Mozart. This is secondary because it's based off whatever another author could find out about that Mozart, and that they could prove wasn't untrue, whether it was true, and couldn't prove what was untrue. So I agree. Biographies are written by someone else, therefore it has to be secondary. And an interview is primary, and she's saying this is primary because it's a first-hand account told by the physicist himself. And I know this is a primary source because it's coming from his own mouth. He is currently there when he is being interviewed. It's a very good font. Going down to the next three, these are from Jacob. And Jacob says a history book about the Revolutionary War is secondary. And it's based around the research and the history of the war, but wasn't written by someone who actually fought in it or commanded the war. So, very good description. I like this one. An 1838 oil painting of the Native American family along the Trails of Terror. This is primary, and I actually agree this is an artifact. It is a picture of everyone who were immigrants and had to travel along the walks of the painful trail. However, some people would put secondary because of multiple reasons. And some of you had really good arguments, so I didn't take off points for that if you did get it wrong and you had a good argument or reasoning to why you would think it is secondary. However, that is a primary source because they have to be there painting it. And number three, this is a website explaining the purposes of the colors and patterns of the flag, and this is secondary based on research. Someone sort of interviewed with someone who designed the flag themselves. So very good job, Jacob. And the last four are by Anthony. And the photograph of Betsy Ross, he says is primary because it took the photo firsthand and watched the first flag. The photograph is the primary source and the firsthand account information. He says the report of the election result of the 2012 primary. He is saying this is secondary. Someone else is reporting in the event that is past and they were not part of it. Reports and dissertations are secondary sources. And I agree with him, it is secondary. However, some people did put primary because the results kind of happen when things go on, as you know, the election that we had this year. However, it is still someone else reporting it, so it should be secondary. But if you did put up a good argument, or had a good reasoning, I gave you points for that. A tape recording is primary, and she's actually recording herself, therefore it has to be firsthand information. Very good. And the last one is a documentary that analyzes the myth foundation of youth. This is actually secondary because a documentary is like a movie, and someone did research and created the documentary and put the information together based on the myth. So those are the correct answers that you should have for primary and secondary sources. We will continue to work on that throughout our unit. The next assignment to look at is text structures. This is a little bit harder. However, you're looking for the main text structure of the paragraph. So the first one is by Lily. And this first one about basketball is actually sequence, and I agree with Lily. And that is because it is talking about its steps. It's saying first, next, after. So these are our transition words, and when you're using transition words, time has passed, that is telling us that it is finally, it is a sequence. So very good job, Lily. The second one is compare and contrast, and it's talking about words such as turns out, differences, and more. And because it's saying differences, that would be the contrast. As it turns out, that is comparing. So those are our keywords to clue us into those different text structures. The next two are done by Delaney, and we're talking about rhinos, and this is a problem, and then it gives us our solution. And it literally says the word in here, solution. So that is our text structure. However, some people put that it was comparing and contrasting. Some people put it was causing. So what cause and effect was. So just make sure you're reading carefully because you went over all the whole thing. And here's our word solution. So it has to be problem and solution. And then the next one is two recent studies. It is literally talking about two studies because it says two right at the top. You know it's comparing and contrasting. It's talking about two different. Um, However, in contrast, so this is comparing and contrasting. And last but not least, this is by Chloe. And the very last one, a lot of people struggled with this. This is actually cause and effect. Because playing video game causes kids show more aggression towards their peers at school. Cause, here's your effect. So she says causes more aggression, shows aggression. The word causes is right in that first sentence. So sometimes you have to read a little bit more closely to figure out the overall text structure of the paragraph because, like I said, multiple things can be in one paragraph. However, you guys did a great job and you are off to a good start. And we will continue working on this if you're still struggling and didn't grasp the concept. If you need to go back and make corrections on your page, you can see my comments and you may please do that. Okay? All right, I will see you in class tomorrow. Bye.